the group. So this one is exercise 3 related to atomic structure in the periodic table. You can use my chat or screen annotation to answer these questions. The first one, which statement about the atom of an isotope of carbon is correct? What are the isotope of a carbon? Carbon is 6 and 12 and carbon is 6 and 14. What is say like for isotopes, they will have equal number of proton and electron, and they have different number of neutrons. Like this will have 6 proton. This will also have 6 protons. This will have 6 neutrons. This will have 8 neutrons. And this will have 6 electron and 6 electrons. They are radioactive. No, they are not all radioactive. They're not emitting out radiation. They all have same mass. That's totally wrong. They have different masses. Isotopes, that's the main differentiator between that they have different masses. They have same number of neutron. They don't have same number of neutron. They have the same number of electron in the last shell. That's why they also have the same chemical properties or similar chemical properties. The next question, carbon, two isotopes are there. One is 614, another one is 612. Which statement about the isotope is correct? So when we check which statement is correct, like one is 6 and 12, another one is 6 and 14. 12, carbon 12 is more reactive than 14. That's wrong. They will have the same reactivity because they have the same number of electrons. Carbon 12 is more reactive. That's also wrong. The reaction of carbon 12 and carbon 14 are similar because they have the same number of electron in the outer shell. So C is the right answer. The atomic number of and the nucleon number for potassium atom is given. How many protons, neutron, and electrons are there? Potassium ion. So atomic number is given. Atomic number is a number of protons, so that is 19. And neutron number is actually the nucleon number minus the atomic number. So it will be 39 minus 19, which is equals to 20. An electron for a neutral atom, it is 19. But because it's a positive ion, you can see it's a positive ion. So it means it should have more proton than electron. So if it was a potassium atom, then this should be the configuration. But for a potassium ion, the number of the proton are 19. The number of neutron is again 39 minus 19, which is 20. But the number of the electrons should be 18. Why 18? Because it's a positively charged. Positive charge is how they form by loss of electron. And if it's plus 1, it should lose 1 electron. So the configuration should be the correct answer 19 protons, 20 neutrons, and 18 electrons. Is it clear? In question 4, element X has 7 protons and element Y has 8 more protons. Which statement about the element Y is correct? Look, if you check the periodic table, just a minute, I'll share the picture of periodic table. So the periodic table in the statement, element X is having 7 protons. So when you check which element in the periodic table is having 7 protons, which element they refers to X? So it means they refers to nitrogen. So this is X. nitrogen. Now they're saying that there's another element Y which has 8 more proton. So 8 more proton means like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 more protons. So means this is element Y. So element X was actually nitrogen and element Y is phosphorus. Now, what are the statements? Because we will check which statement is correct according to the options. So the first statement is X is more electron shell, sorry, Y has more electron shell than X. That is true. Why? Because electron shells refers to the period. Like when you check, this is period 1. The only 2 elements are there in period 1. It means they both have 1 shell. Then this is period 2. Period 2 means all the elements in this period will have 2 shells. Because the period represents the total number of shells. So all of them will have equal number of different number of electron in the outer shell, but the number of the shells will be same. Then this one is period 3. The third period. So how many shells are there in the third period? There will be 3 shells. So each of them will have 3 shells. And so on. So the first statement is correct because what first statement it said that Y has more electron shell than X. So you can clearly see that element Y will have 3 shells, element X will have 2 shells. That's why A is the right answer. Why not B? Y has more electron in the outer shell than X. That is wrong. Why it is wrong? Because X and Y belongs to same group. Like nitrogen and phosphorus belongs to same group. Group number represent the number of electron in the last shell. So they will have the number of electron in the last shell will be 5 for both of them, for each of them. Then, so that's why this statement is not correct. Y is different group. That's wrong. They are in the same group. Y is in the same period. No, they're not in the same period. They're in the different period. That's why A will be the right answer. Is it clear, this question?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Which description of a brass is correct? Brass is actually what? Brass is an alloy, a mixture of copper and zinc. When copper and zinc metal are mixed together, it will form an alloy that is known as a brass. Then the formula of aluminum sulfate. So how to write the formula for aluminum sulfate? Aluminum is +3 and sulfate is SO4 with a charge -2. You simply cross multiply. This 2 will come with aluminum and 3 with sulfate. So it will be Al2 SO4 in a bracket 3. So C will be the right answer. So first we write the valency, then simplify, take a simplest ratio, and then cross multiply. Atomic structure of 4 particles are shown. Which particles have the same chemical properties? Chemical property depends on number of electron in the last shell. So if they have the same number of electron, they will have the same chemical properties. So when we check P with R, so P with R, no, they cannot be because they have different. When we check P with S, P checked with S, so they don't have different, like they have different. When you check P, Q and R, P and Q have the same, but R does not, R is different. So cannot be C. So you're left with D, that R and S will have the, because they have the same number of electrons. That's option valid according to the given question. This question is about the copper and its compound. We have copper has 2 naturally occurring atoms are there, which is 63 and 65. State the term used for atom with the same element with a different number of nucleon. What we call that? We call them as isotope. That's right, Mira. So we call them as isotope. Then copper, atomic number of a copper is 29. So how many, you can use screen annotation to complete this. If 29 atomic number, how many protons are there in each of them? This is 29, this will also be 29. So how many protons will be there? You can use screen annotation to complete this. Number of proton in each of them. Atomic number represent the proton number. So it will be 29. And that's also 29. Then neutron, how to get a neutron? You subtract 63 minus 29. So 63 minus 29, that will be 34. So this will be 34. And the other one will be 36. And because this is an atom, so because it's an atom, it should have equal number of proton and electron. But this is a ion, positive ion. So the proton should be more than electron, or 2 extra protons should be there. So if 29 protons, so there should be less electron. That's why it is 27. Then how to work out the average mass of the two isotope? So the formula is the percentage of the isotope, like here percentage is 70, multiplied by mass of isotope. What is the mass? 63. So 17 to 63 plus the percentage of the isotope, which is 30, multiplied by mass of the isotope, which is 65, and the total sum, like this, divided by 100. So this will give us 63.6, the relative atomic mass or average mass of the two isotopes. So it's always same. It's a percentage of the isotope multiplied by its mass plus the percentage of the second isotope multiplied by its mass divided by 100. Then the table reduce the number of proton, neutron, electron in magnesium atom and copper ion and identify the atom or ion represent in the final row. So first magnesium, this is a magnesium atom. So if there are 12 protons, how many electrons should be there? Because it's an atom. So if there are 12 protons, how many? There will be 12 electrons as well because it's a neutral. No, it's a number of electron because the being an atom, proton and electron should be same. So if there are 12 proton, it should have 12 electron. And number of neutron, we take a difference because the neutron number is a nucleon number minus the atomic number. So it will be 25 minus 12, which is equals to 13. For the copper, plus 2. So if it is 29 protons are there, it should have 27 electron. This is electron number. It cannot be 36. It's impossible to have 36. This is the electron number. So if there are 29 protons, how many electrons should be there? Because plus 2 charge, so 2 extra protons, so how many electrons? 27. And the neutron number is already given, 65 minus 29, that is 36. So to get the number of the proton, that is same as atomic number. To get the number of the neutron, it is A minus Z. And for number of electron, depending on the whether it's an atom or an ion. And then at proton number 17, we identify its chlorine. So we write 17 here. And then top number is a nucleon number. Nucleon number is a sum of neutron and proton. So 20 plus 17, that's equal to 37. And now, is it a charge or uncharged? How we identify? You can see there are 17 protons and there are 18 electrons. So what is the charge on this? Because extra electrons, then protons, so there should be a charge of -1 or 1 minus. If extra protons, then positive charge, extra electron, negative charge. And if they are equal, then there is no charge. In question 10, an atom of an element X is represented by a symbol X, 34 and 16. Name the different type of particle found in the nucleus of this atom. What are the different type of particles are there in a nucleus of an atom? What particles actually
Protons
are
and neutrons.
protons and neutrons? So 1 mark is for mentioning proton, 1 mark is for mentioning neutron. What is the term for a total number of particles in the nucleus? What we call that term?
Nucleon number.
Call that as a nucleon number. What is the total number of particles in the nucleus? Now, how many particles are there in the nucleus of this? So what is actually a
34.
nucleon number? So nucleon number is 30 because of sum of neutron and proton. Then what is the electronic structure of X with a charge 2 minus? Look, when X is an atom, it is having 16. When X is an atom, so when X is an atom, it is having 16 protons. But when X charge is there with a minus 2, so it will have 16 proton, but the number of electron will be 18. Why 18? Because it's a negatively charged. So 18 electrons are there. And what is the configuration? It is 2, 8, and 8. Then suggest a formula for compound between aluminium and X. So aluminium and X, how we predict the formula for compound? Aluminium is group 3, so it is plus 3, and X is having a minus 2 valency. We cannot simplify this valency, so we cross multiply 2 with aluminium and 3 with X. So the formula will be Al2X3. What is the term? What term is used to describe atoms of the same element with a different number of the particle in a nucleus? So what we call them? We call them as
Isotopes.
isotopes. Identify the atom against with the relative mass of. So this part we will discuss in the next chapter, like the most chapter actually, like which atom we compare the mass, we compared with carbon 12. But this thing we will discuss. So this part still we did not discuss yet. We will discuss in the moles topic. So this was exercise 3 related to atomic structure and the periodic table.